You didn't see all the trolls? Yeah, you guys know there's not a single troll in the movie. One of the things that we found out, it was titled Goblin, and then for the documentary we went back and we met with all the production crew, and in a supposed stroke of marketing genius, the Italians just decided to capitalize on the Troll franchise, and they just called the Troll 2. Just like that. Why not?
Has anyone ever actually seen Troll? Because it's shit. It's worse than
Nobody watches Troll 1. $2.5 million. No, absolutely not. I want to say it was, it's funny because I remember at the time, well, George remembers at the time that the film was somewhere around a couple $100,000. But when we talked to Claudio, the director, I asked him that question and he said, about $3 million or so. But directors always inflate budgets of their films, so.
How old were you when you actually were in it?
That's not me in the film. Now, 10 years old. But it's weird. It is really, you can imagine this is all kind of a very strange trip for me. And it's hard sometimes for me to think, I was watching the movie and I'm thinking, damn, that kid's so annoying. And that's me. That is me. So, yeah, 10 years old. Maybe. Nothing to scream about, I suppose. Why not the popcorn? She, Deborah, the gal who played the witch, she lives in Utah, and we interviewed her for the documentary. She's an interesting lady. Surprisingly, she doesn't like to talk about that corn scene too much.
Was the film funded by representatives of the meat industry, perhaps, or?
Did you notice those anti-vegetarian themes kind of weaved in and out of the film? It's a deep movie.
Is it true that the director didn't actually speak any English, and you guys didn't speak any Italian, and it was directed basically through translation?
Yeah, everything you can imagine with this movie went wrong in epic proportions. The director and the entire crew, they were from Italy. They ended up in small town Utah. They couldn't speak English. All I remember from Claudio was him just kind of in my face yelling, bigger, louder, bigger, and screaming. And nobody knew what was going on. The cast members were kind of taking the scripts and creating their own little groups and thinking, what the hell are we supposed to do with this? It didn't make any sense. I actually have my original script, and I've gone through it from time to time just looking at it, and it's unbelievable that we made such perfect sense out of that movie. I continued, believe it or not, this did not ruin me. I did not end up face down in the gutter. I continued acting up until actually, 4 or 5 years ago, just doing different things in the States, movies of the week, commercials, but nothing as superior as Troll 2. Oh yeah, actually, you guys are all familiar, of course, with Taika Waititi?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, worked with him up at the Sundance Lab a few years ago while he was working on Eagle vs. Shark. So, good guy. But you guys already know that. I'm sorry? Of Troll 2? I think that is the director's cut. All those choices were Claudio. Any other final questions? And again, tomorrow night is the documentary, right? How many of you guys know about Best Worst Movie?
Woo!
Oh, nice. Cool. Well, tomorrow night, the screening of the film, and hope that you all can make it out. It will raise a few more questions, I promise. you know, I've watched it a million times by now, and which is really odd to say. But with Troll 2, it's one of these things where, you know, if you haven't seen it, or it's one of the first few times, you have the classics that are kind of like the gateway drugs, you know, the Piss on Hospitality and all these themes. But now I notice the subtle contributions in the film. And my favorite part is when we're in the van and my mom goes to hand me that sandwich and asks me to eat it. And I tell her, you know, I don't want to eat it. And the look on her face of just sheer disappointment. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, one more question. Would you like a bologna sandwich?
I haven't eaten bologna since that day. You know, quickly on that note, every time I see that scene, that sandwich that they gave us, you know, as you guessed, wasn't a lot of budget in this, you know, in this movie. We didn't have our own trailers that we all went to. You know, it was very, the Italians were very resourceful, and we showed up at the house that we were filming at, and Claudio just started grabbing food out of the ladies' cupboard. And the bologna sandwich actually ended up on 2 top halves of a stale hamburger bun. And I remember as a kid biting into it and just it turning into dust. And I go, oh, this is terrible. So. Yeah, one last question. Well, that's good. I think we're good.
What about Troll 3? Anytime soon?
There is one. It's been made, man.
Well, you gotta. I don't want to give it away. Come see the documentary. Awful. It was the slime and the pudding. I remember. This is another memory. This kind of tells you, you know, as a kid, you kind of have a different experience when you're making a film like this. And I remember reading the script and seeing that scene where they feed me ice cream, you know, in the barn. I remember reading that Joshua gets fed ice cream. Oh, this is great. I get to go eat ice cream today. And then here comes Claudio with some like big bowl of warm, semi-rancid yogurt. And then he started putting dates. And I didn't even know what dates were at the time. I'm thinking, what is this? And it was terrible. It was not ice cream. So it's pretty rough. I want to thank you guys for coming out and enjoying this marvelous, marvelous film. You've been a great audience, and it's been a lot of fun.
I want to thank Michael so much. Lovely wife Lindsay is down here. Lindsay, how are you doing? Some people have climbed the pyramids and some have swum the Amazon, but you guys have watched Troll 2. Well done. We're going to auction off this poster. This is a very rare poster.